Purdue losing at Northwestern. We talked about this a little bit last night, but I kind of, since we were just talking Big Ten team, Wisconsin, I do want to stay here with Purdue really quick. Are they how worried should we be about this, Matt? I mean, it's the flaws that were exposed by Northwestern are some of the same concerns that we had about Purdue last season. It was also a road game, in league play, in overtime. You had a guy go for 31-9.
I'm not concerned with Purdue. I'm not. I think they're too good. I think they've got the best player in the country. You know, I was never a part of that in terms of having to play a conference game this early in the season. You know, you're coming out of your MTE. They're coming back from Maui. You know, that's not easy travel. I know they're chartering. I get all that. But to throw a conference game on the road versus a good team that has one of the best guards in that league is a challenge. And they're right there. I mean, the game goes to overtime. Now, I know Edey makes a bucket to make that happen, but, I mean, they're right there. I mean, one more bounce goes their way, and they win the game, and they're still the number one team in the country. I'm not concerned with them. I think they'll be right there. Obviously, we want to talk about the being knocked out in the first weekend and all that. I think Matt Painter spent the entire offseason focused on that.
I know. I was going to say, does the regular season mean that much for Purdue? I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you said, here are the scenarios, they roll through the Big Ten and they win the Big Ten by 3 games by anybody else, and they lose in the second round, or they finish second to Michigan State in the regular season, but they end up going to the Final Four. We know what they're taking. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is, like, honestly, does any of this shit matter that much to Matt Painter in Purdue? You got to get better.
Right.
I get all that, right? You got to figure out who your four-man's going to be, how you're going to play, but ultimately none of that shit's going to matter to Purdue fans.
That might be part of the problem with the way that they ended up playing yesterday, right? Like, part of the problem right now might be, okay, we just went to Maui. We just had this great performance there. We just had this memorable run. You're playing, raising money for the victims of the wildfires, and you come back, and it's like, okay, we're going on the road to Northwestern. And
we're going to be okay.
Yeah, we're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay. Human nature. We're going
to
be okay.
We can win
this. Guys, we just won 3 games out. We're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And Matt Painter saying, we're not fine. We're not fine.
Right.
But your players are saying, we're fine.
But you're also coming off of a year where you already did the whole Big Ten regular season challenge thing, or Big Ten regular season title thing. So how is there a hangover there, right? Is there a thing where it's like, because I think we saw it a little bit with the Florida team that you were an assistant on, right? Because that team, when they repeat and they come back, and they kind of got to a slow. I think what they lose, like 3 of the first 10 or something like that. A couple losses early.
We lost to Kansas out in Vegas in overtime. It was an elite level game. We lost 3 games in a row in league.
That was in
February.
That
wasn't until February. That's what I'm saying. I've never been a part of playing a league. I think it's more coming back from Maui. Look what we just did. We're going on the road. We're better than them. We're going to be fine. Mm-hmm. And that's human nature, and that's what all coaches, not trying to be coach speak here, but what all coaches are fighting. But I think that game was more of that, and they lost the game last year. They lost that game last year in the same place. So credit Northwestern, too. I mean, we're trying to figure out what's wrong with
and Northwestern.
We're trying to figure out what's wrong with Purdue. Let's give a little credit on the other end of the ball.
Are they the second best team in the Big Ten? Is it Northwestern? Is it Wisconsin? Is it Michigan State?
No, there is none yet. We don't know that. We don't know it yet. We don't know who the second best team is yet in the Big Ten.
That's great content. I'm asking the
I'm
expert
just saying,
for a
we
question.
don't.
This is the answer
Do you want
that
the
I
real
get.
answer or not? We don't know the answer yet. Am I wrong?
I kind of agree with him. I think it's too
it's
too
too
early.
early.
Now Tuesday night, I think Michigan State and Wisconsin. I mean, there's some.
I've made so many bad predictions. You're not getting me to make another bad one right now.